Hey everybody, in this video we're going to read the next chapter of Enemy Spy. Chapter 17, Sweating Bullets. Harry Kane got to the police car about the same time Chatty and the rest of us did. Chatty shoved Harry aside and shouted, "Can you tell us who you've got there?" Two policemen had pulled their prisoner out of the back seat. It was the shabby guy who had left the papers in the boulder and taken the money. He was handcuffed. "What is he charged with?" Chatty shouted. "Is this one of the international spies?" Both of the policemen shook their heads, telling her they weren't going to answer her questions. She chased after him anyway. "Is he Shredderman?" "Shredderman? How could she think that? Shredderman had blown the whistle on this guy. How stupid could this lady be?" One of the police officers seemed to be thinking the same thing, because he stopped in his tracks and gave her a long, steady look. Then he let the other policeman take their prisoner into the station while he stayed outside. He came a few steps our way, then cleared his throat and said, "I understand that you've got a lot of questions concerning this case, and we will answer them to the best of our ability when the time is right." "When will that be?" Chatty snapped. "You expect us to wait out here all night?" The policeman took a deep breath. "How about we give you a statement in, half an hour?" "Can't you give us anything now? Who is that man? Why was he arrested? Are you going to—" Harry cut in. "Hey, Don, can you tell us if this arrest means you'll be releasing the birds and Elmo Green?" He glanced at us. "There are some people here who'd really like to know." "Hi, Harry," the policeman answered. "I'd like to help you on that, but right now I can't say. Someone will be back out in half an hour, okay?" "Good enough, Don," Harry said. "Hey, Don," Chatty called. The policeman put up a hand before she could say anything more. "Please, Miss Adams, that's enough. I'll have someone back here in half an hour." Chatty practically stomped her foot. Then she stormed off, muttering, "Bunch of good old boys around here. Bunch of lousy, club-footed good old boys." Roy was on her again, saying, "Chatty, knock it off. You scared off your source, and now you're alienating this whole town." "But it's not right. I was here first. This is my story." "It's still your story, Chatty. Calm down." "No, it's not. You think they're gonna keep a lid on this? You watch. In half an hour, this place will be swarming with reporters." Chatty stormed off to her news van, and I was expecting my classmates to take off too, but they didn't. Trinity said, "I'm gonna call my mom, but I'll wait with you, okay, Nolan?" "Me too," Ian said, then looked at Vinny. "You taking off?" "No way." He was walking backward quick, with one eye on Trinity. "I'm just gonna beat Pony Girl to the phone." She tried to punch him, but he took off running. Some kids called home on their cell phones. Some went to the payphone. I didn't have to call anyone. My parents were in the police station, maybe even in jail. Someone else didn't call his parents either. Bubba. And the way he was acting was making me nervous. He was quiet, very quiet, and he was watching me, kind of pacing back and forth, like he was thinking. No, more like stalking prey. But he hadn't given me trouble in weeks. Weeks and weeks. Ever since I'd done him a great big, make that enormous favor. But still, right now, he was looking very dangerous. I tried to wave at him, like, "Hey dude, what's happening?" But it was a pretty lame wave, even I could tell. And it made him do the one thing I didn't want him to do, walk my way. Uh-oh. Was he gonna pound me? But why would he? Unless he unless he suspected that I was the one who posted his big butt on the World Wide Web? Unless he figured out that I was the one who'd gotten him busted for bullying? Unless he figured out that I was Shredderman? Kids were starting to move our way. But before anyone got there, Bubba came right up to me and said, "I'm not as dumb as you think." I gulped and said, "Who said you were dumb?" "I know that's what you think." Actually, I didn't think that. Bubba had managed to get through years of bullying and stealing and lying. Sure, I thought he was sneaky, but you can't be dumb and get away with all of that. I shook my head. I don't think you're. I can put two and two together, man. You can multiply them too, and divide them, and maybe even exponentiate them. Man, my mouth was the one that was dumb. Real quick, I added. I didn't mean that the way it sounded, honest. Just listen to me, Nolan. At least he wasn't back to calling me nerd. I gulped and nodded. You humiliated me, dude. All those jokes about me, a picture of my butt. I swore when I figured it out I'd beat whoever it was to a pulp. I was sweating bullets. He knew. Without a doubt, Baba Bixby knew. Other kids were coming in closer, and closer. He was gonna say it. He was gonna blow my cover. How could he resist? Bubba looked around at all the kids gathered. He was feeling the power of it, the glory of it. This was it. I was about to be unmasked, and by Bubba Bixby. He looked right at me. There was a hint of a smile on his face. He cocked his nose like, come here. I squinted a little like, huh? He did it again, then said to everyone else, step back. I gotta ask Nolan something. Everyone backed up. Boy, nobody could figure out what was going on, but they sure didn't want to be in the middle of it. Then Bubba said to me, come here, dude. What else could I do? I moved a step forward. He rolled his eyes. I moved another step closer. He grabbed my arm and yanked me next to him, but he didn't pound me. He didn't hurl me onto the pavement. No, instead, he whispered into my ear, and what he said was, you need a sidekick, man?